Now, the Real Clear Politics chief political correspondent, David Paul Kuhn. Good to see you again.
Thanks for having me.
I could play 30 sound bites, minimum, of the president saying in speech after speech after speech, we will not continue tax cuts for millionaires, and now it appears we're on the verge of extending tax cuts for millionaires.
That's right, and to an extent, this is almost the equivalent of, the polar equivalent of George H.W. Bush's pledge, no new taxes. And then, of course, he reneged on that pledge and infuriated the conservative base. To be sure, few issues will infuriate the liberal base more than Barack Obama extending the Bush tax cuts.
They will try to make the case, of course, that they did that in an effort to get compromise on unemployment benefits for the 99ers, the people who have had unemployment benefits for 99 weeks. The Republicans have threatened that they would block such a thing. But to Democratic observers, it's very hard to imagine that the Republicans would block such a thing given the economic climate that we're in, and they got to go talk to that in their district. So whether they want to call this a compromise or not, I think Democrats want to call it a cave.
Yeah, and one man's cave is another man's compromise.
Of course it is. Oh, no doubt.
Even if Barack Obama gets the extension of unemployment benefits and the Democratic leadership in Congress does, the liberal base will not be pleased. They don't feel that one should happen for the other. And so clearly this is a Republican win. In political terms, I should say.
Of course. Is the president, is his goal now to, all right, I've compromised with you on this. Now on the next issue, we're all friends, we're going to work together. Is that what he thinks?
I don't think so.
Then what does he think?
I think he knows he holds a bad hand. And this is for several reasons. One, there's an agenda issue. The Democrats want to move on to the START treaty. They want to move on to Don't Ask, Don't Tell. The Republicans won't let them move on unless they deal with the tax issue. Two.
So the president thinks once they move on to Don't Ask, Don't Tell or the START treaty, maybe it's John McCain who indicates to him that there might be some compromise on Don't Ask, Don't Tell. I mean, we've heard him in the last week. It won't happen.
At least they have no chance of even having that discussion or that debate unless they deal with taxes.
Okay.
So he has to get over this hurdle. And then there's other issues. One big issue is that he has few choices. The Democrats cannot get the extension for the middle class only. They just don't have the votes. So that leaves him with two choices. One, he lets them all expire. Or two,
then everyone's taxes go up and he gets the blame.
And that he gets the blame, clearly an albatross on the economy. It's a lose-lose for him politically and policy. Two, he extends the Bush tax cuts in full. And so to an extent, you might say Barack Obama is swallowing the bitter but better pill.
You wonder what this leads to next, though, because I guess there are two different ways to fight. One is to play offense and charge, and the other is to back down on all of your campaign positions. And so far what he's done is back down on the vast majority of his campaign, on his campaign promises. There was getting us out of the war, there was Gitmo, there was Don't Ask, Don't Tell, I mean, the list is very long, and the check marks on fails are numerous.
And they would add warrantless wiretapping. These are issues.
Oh, warrantless wiretapping still happening.
Infuriate, again, the liberal base. And you have columnists like Frank Rich at the New York Times, a liberal columnist, in fact excoriating Barack Obama over the weekend as effectively wimpy. He wants to see a Democratic Chris Christie. He wants to see a Democrat who stands by his values and draws red lines.
In the end, is this good for Republicans? I have to wrap, but is this good for Republicans? Because if they're getting everything they want and then things don't improve, then they have a problem, don't they?
Yes, I think you're right, but taxes have generally been a winning issue for the Republican Party, and it's hard to argue this will be an exception to that rule.
Yep. David Paul Kuhn, good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
The website is realclearpolitics.com, and there's a lot of good stuff on there today.